guy had the opportunity at his birthday party to meet the wonderful Warren Fuller's father. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you aren't going to believe what this young man said to me.
Young man, he's 80 years old.
I'm being kinder to him than he was to me.
He
walked up to me and he says, of course, I was dressed in my normal
attire, yeah.
He walks up to me and he says, "You have to be the trash man." And I said, "Yes, I absolutely have to be."
Yeah, it's hard to miss.
And he said, "I'm Warren's father." I said, "Well, hello, sir." And I extended my hand in friendship, and he looked at my hand, and he looked at me and said, "You ruined my son's life." How nice is that?
Well,
jeez.
You have to.
So I went for another piece of cake.
You have to understand, my father has one of the most bizarre senses of humors you'll ever hear.
I think your father is bizarre in many ways.
Yeah, he makes me look not cynical. Okay, he makes me look like a frickin' Boy Scout. So
well, it was fun. I got a kick out of it.
He's an interesting guy. He does a really, it's funny because we're talking about painting. That's what my dad does. He's a professional artist, and that's what he does. And some of his stuff is though not in the same vein as our buddy Big Daddy. But he does some real cool stuff.
Okay.
And as he's getting on, my mother says now that there's literally 20 old ladies in Florida waiting for her to die.
Oh,
so they can pick up on him.
Well, I didn't think he was that hot.
Hey, if you were 80, you'd think he's hot. He's still breathing, man. Anyway, all right. Let's get back to
talking about the relatively hotness of your girl.
I don't know why we're doing that. Anyway, we got some great stuff. It always gets sent to us. This came to us from Kevin. And I'd like to, what do we say, detail on next. Pictures might be hard to see, explain pictures. Yes, believe it or not, I'm reading around the character. I have a description of all the pictures, so when we put them up, I can actually talk about them. Go to the 00, and let's bring this up. This is we could run 4-minute motorcycle. Here we go. Boom, 4-minute motorcycle. Okay, we're done with that. All right, now this came to us from Kevin. And let's talk about this bike. Go ahead and show the picture of it right there. Let's run this shot. Okay, this is called the Title of Liberty. And at first you look at this bike from a distance, and what you see is it's kind of like it's white with some gray stuff on it. It's not
like one of them Perowitz things.
Well, yeah, but there's some real class act on this bike that we're going to talk about, because what he's done. Let's read what he has to say. Okay, here's how this bike is laid out. First off, you have a picture of the front fender where it says Liberty, because that is what we all have before the war starts. Then as you move back to the gas tank, you have all the stuff that is involved in war. You have the fighter jets, helicopters, tanks, and the things that go into war and the weapons we use for war. Then as you move to the back fender, you get to see the results of war. You get to see our fallen soldiers coming home in flag-draped caskets. You have a buddy of a fallen friend with his rifle stuck in the ground and his helmet hanging out, and the buddy's boots next to them. And the bottom of the back fender, you get the results of war and the terrible effects of being the end of war, with parents of the fallen soldier being handed the folded American flag to remember their son or daughter and what they gave up so that we can enjoy the freedom that we all have home today.
Let's run the shot.
This is a pretty heavy bike, folks. Not only is it looks like a fine running piece of machinery, but this is really a moving piece of art. Let's go ahead and go to picture number 1. There's Kevin right there on the bike, saying that you get to see how this thing sits. Beautiful looking bike.
His ass isn't more than about 20 inches off the pavement.
It's way low. Now we'll talk about the guys that helped him build this bike in a minute. But first, let's go through some of the pictures of this. Let's go ahead and run up picture number 1, if we can. It is the front fender, and it says the words Liberty. And let's go ahead and see if we can get this up on the main screen. There we go. You can see that the way this airbrushing is done is really cool.
It's star-spangled in there as well.
It's star-spangled in the background, and then there's sort of this light airbrushing over the top. So we start with Liberty.
It's called ghosting.
Ghosting. He's like Ghost Man?
It's ghosted in there, yeah.
But, I mean, that's a beautiful looking job, man.
Yeah, it is.
Paint on that thing. And then we go to the next shot on this.
Back a little bit.
Let's go to the next shot on this, which says, this is a picture of a fighter jet with bombs attached underneath her, and right under that at a different angle you'll see a helicopter with some Hellfire missiles at the bottom of it too. Looks like they're getting ready to take care of some Saddam business.
Well, it's hard for me to make that out.
I see it now. I see the jet's going that way kind of. Go ahead. See right here. See, I can point out to this here. Here's what we got. The jet's going up there. See, that's the nose of the jet, and those are the intakes.
All right, I see it.
There's the Hellfire missiles underneath there, and this is the helicopter.
There's the helicopter, right?
So there's the gun. It's a gunship.
I see it.
All that stuff.
Absolutely.
So we sort of get what's going on there. It's a pretty cool job. Let's go to pick number 3. I think you might be able to see these a little better. This is there you go. This is a pic of that same jet and helicopter, but those bombs you see falling at the left side of the gas cap, you will see in another pic of a stealth fighter with my handlebars kind of in the way. These bombs are coming from that stealth fighter. So that's across the top of the tank, and you can see bombs falling down the sides. Big Daddy Crash says, great looking work. David says, nice job all around. Grumpy says, long and low. Well, we agree. This bike is really, I mean, you get people who really think about what they're doing when they're building a bike. This guy has not only thought about the mechanics of this thing and all the stuff he's got to do with that, but he's got this whole theme of this whole war goes on this bike every time as he rides it. Let's go to the next shot, and you'll get some more of this, what's going on. There's the helicopter, man. Look at the detail work on that, man.
Yeah,
I mean that's airbrush.
Looks like a Cobra helicopter to me.
Yep, and you can see the turrets on the bottom and the missiles and
missile pods.
I mean he's just done a heck of it. And there you have pegs sticking out the side, man.
Yeah.
I'll let you know it's a bike.
Sure. Let's go to the next shot.
Okay. This should be pick number 5. This is a picture that's always being on the news of that huge statue of Saddam Hussein being pulled down by the Allied soldiers.
Looks like he's barefoot.
Well, it might be. I don't know. Maybe it's a reflection, but you can see he's got that chain around his neck.
Yep.
And they're yanking down. That
was a thing of beauty, brother.
That was a great shot, man. Talk about defining news photos. Let's go to picture number 6. Go to the next one. There's a picture of the girl sitting, so you can start to see that the whole story is played out on the backbone of this motorcycle, and that every single picture has a meaning to our buddy Kevin here, and he's really thought about what he's doing. Let's go to picture number 8.
There's a tank.
That's a tank on there. Now this is now we get what happens at the actually he says. Oh, the picture of the tank is kind of hard to see because the tree's in the shadow. Yeah, it's a little hard to see that, but you can see
isn't hard to see.
It's a tank, and that's not hard to see at all.
Know what that is. That's the beloved S&S carburetor.
There you go, man. That's a cool deal right there. And it looks, it's basic S&S, man. That'll get you down the road. Let's go to the next shot. It's a little hard to see here, but he says, now we get to what happens at the end of the war and all the misery that goes with it, and proof that liberty comes with a very heavy cost. Let's go to the next picture. This is a sad picture of a soldier sitting by the remaining things of his fallen friend. You can see his rifle stuck in the ground by the bayonet, then you can see his helmet hanging on the rifle and his boots sitting by them.
That is, and most folks that have endured or been around for a long time have seen that before. That's known as the Shrine to the Fallen Soldier.
Yeah.
And it's his boots, his weapon, and his Kevlar helmet.
Yep. Let's go to the next shot.
There's the casket.
Yeah. And this is this good pick of the flag draped coffins as they are sent back to the States. And then the last picture of the artwork on this bike, which you can see the hands at the very bottom. And what's happening there is this is a picture of the final result of war, an officer handing the parents a folded American flag in memory of the price that their family had to pay for war. This, folks, is a really moving piece of work.
It is.
When you think about the work that he's put into these images and to this bike, it's really pretty
Little John
special.
and I were talking about that very thing just yesterday.
Pretty special piece of work here.
Yes, it is.
We'd really like to thank. Let's go to. We got a couple more pictures.
This is a pic I put at the end of all my correspondence.